Hello, God bless. Lee Rice here. Just arrived in Campo de Fiori. I don't know so many of the nighttime staff enjoy the restaurant, but I do know the daytime staff. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Well, I didn't just arrive. I've been here for a couple of hours. I spent Santa journey 60 days 2 years and 4 months ago. Sat here for a while. I know many of the cleanup crew, mainly the daytime cleanup crew, many of the people around Campo de Fiori in the daytime. So I'm really happy to be back. I wanted to come back for many years. I was really tempted to come straight back to Agrigenso, but, well, I love Campo de Fiori. And tomorrow I see all my friends who go to the restaurant. And, well, really looking forward to tomorrow. I've sat here for a while. A group came over with $10, which is more than I made in Napoli today in 5 hours. Well, quite a lot more. I had some really interesting times, met some good people in Napoli. Sadly, I was robbed by a snake. But even after that, I felt mainly really bad for my brother. That was his first guitar. He gave it me as a gift. And then some fucking snake comes along and takes it in half a second, well, 1 second maximum. Nothing I could do. I did mega security ties. But then the story got even more really crazy. I decided there's no way I can sleep in there after being robbed. So I thought I'm just going to have to stay awake all night and I'll go to Agrigenso tomorrow. But then I thought, well, Rome is really close and I wanted to go back to see Campo de Fiori for a long time. And the Almond Blossom Festival is until March, and it's not my birthday till February. So I decided to come back to Campo de Fiori. Probably only for something like 20 days or something like that, but I'm a writer of 19 songs in exactly this position I'm sitting right now. With very good friends. I know the manager, the daytime manager, and all of this. I'm very good friends right there in the restaurant. Who gave me food and drink last time I was here many times. Free cafe, free beer, pizza. I sleep outside the church that way until the rest, and I've never had any problems. I don't have a negative feeling for Napoli. I walked around Napoli like going for a cafe or going for a pizza, and I could leave my stuff in the street with people on the other side of the street, marketplaces everywhere, without zero concerns at all. So I can just let you know some good information. For all of the negatives that people talk about for Napoli, I find Napoli, I've just been robbed. That's one individual snake. Somebody else tried to take my guitar too. I think that was a different person. They're just the serpents. They're the crack addicts. They're moving around the city. And they can be in any city. They can be everywhere, anywhere. I got robbed in Massaro de Vella too, tiny population place. So everybody's talking negative about somewhere like Napoli. Well, I just slept outside and played in the city for 20 days. I can let you know this, even after being robbed. Napoli is a really interesting city with a lot of good people. There's people walking around, like from the churches, with really big hearts coming to the homeless, exactly the same position where I got robbed. That was something like 20 minutes later, after the good people from the churches brought me food, offered me more blankets, water, and the Red Cross too, just before that, in exactly the same position. The thing that made the story the absolute most insane, even made me more insane than Salerno. When I went for a walk, I came back, I thought, well, there's nowhere else I can really try and get a little rest. I'm not going to sleep. There's no chance after being robbed. It took 1 second. I was sure. I even joked on the street where I was playing and teaching the children. I even said this. I said, if anybody can take the guitar with my security ties while I'm sleeping, you're welcome to it. I did so many ties, security ties. Used the bag, put it under my head tied to the case. And like, my mother said this, I'm not criticizing, Mum, if you watch this. You should have tied it to your body. Well, I thought about that too, and I thought about it from what happened in Alice. That could be a really different scenario. If that crack addict, which obviously that person was, is really determined, well, maybe they got a knife. I couldn't have done any more with the security. I ultimately couldn't have possibly done any more with security. multiple ties. Backpack to guitar under my head. Bag tied to the guitar under my head. For me, it seemed like, I even joked on the street where I was sitting, saying, if anybody tries again to take it, they'd have to be like Houdini. It's impossible. I'm even talking to myself while I'm just about to go to sleep, saying, try and take that. I'm saying that literally while I'm doing the ties. Try and take that while I'm sleeping. The point is this. I didn't get to go to sleep in exactly the same position where 20 minutes before that, the wonderful people from the church are saying, oh, so nice to meet you, God bless. And that happened over and over again in a shopping centre. And then this happened next. Just after the crime had happened, I went for the walk and thought, well, where else am I going to sleep? I'll go back there. I won't sleep. I'll just sit there and stay awake and watch something. It's impossible. How can I possibly sleep? I've just been robbed. In an unbelievably well-lit shopping centre with if you watch the video, you'll see, with what? 5, 6 other homeless people, 5 homeless brothers and a homeless sister in exactly the same zone. I walked around that zone in the post directly opposite my position. Well, it looks like a camera. It's nearly an exact replica of what happened in Salerno. So somehow, it's complete insanity. What happened next is even more insanity. Somehow, with all of these other people really close to me, in 1 second, someone would come along, pull my backpack from under my head, grab the guitar over my head. Obviously, this person had watched what I was doing with the security ties. I felt it was ultimately impossible. With my back against the guitar, I'm like, it is impossible. I said to myself multiple times, shall I sleep with it in my sleeping bag? I can't get it in my sleeping bag. Should I sleep with it under the duvet? Should I keep my arms wrapped around it? Well, I couldn't have done any more security than what I did. I literally, it was impossible for me to do any more security than what I did without it being unbelievably extreme. Tie it to my body. Tie the guitar to my body. Well, what about when I want to turn? What about when I need to go to the toilet? That is just ridiculous. So this is my opinion. I go back a little bit. When I went back to the same place, I thought, well, where else am I going to sit? I've got like 5 hours. I'm exhausted until there's lights. 6 hours until there's light. Or maybe I can watch something. I tried to watch my favourite series, Manifest. I couldn't even watch it. I can't concentrate at all. I was exhausted after teaching the children all day. And then, for some random reason, my mother said, have you contacted the police? I'm like, well, what happened in Salerno? I talked about it, spoke about it in English and Italian, and the police weren't interested, neither was anyone else. Nobody saw it. And hundreds of people, a couple of hundred people minimum. So I'm like, well, what's the point? What's the point? I saw the back of the guy, I shouted, fuck you, as he ran away. Fuck you! I shouted, fuck you, really loudly as he ran away. What a snake. I even joked about it. It was just a crack addict, desperate crack addict. And that's what the person who did it was. Exactly the same happened in Brussels before the first lockdown in France. A guy comes over, hey, nice to meet you. I'm still recovering from my Coca-Cola overdose. I still got the right side of ranks. So, comes over, hey, how's it going, man? Hey, let's have a little dance. And in 1 second flat, I never even had my passport in my pocket. In 1 second flat, took the passport and my wallet, never in my pocket. I'd only just got off the bus. Took the passport and my wallet and run away. It took 1 second. With that kind of crime, no matter how careful you are when you're sleeping outside, and I am really, really careful. I couldn't have done any more security ties than what I did without it being so extreme that I'm tying the guitar to my body, to my arms, to my leg. Then what if the crack addict is so unbelievably desperate, which obviously he was, maybe he's got a knife. But then it turns into a different game. I thought the same when I was robbed in Alice, when I didn't wake up, where I slept in a bad position, nearly 2.5 years ago now. Well, what if I did wake up? How many of them was there? I was targeted, I was followed. So this is what's happened. In the places I've been robbed, Salerno, I was targeted. They saw I've got something of value, a nice guitar. And that's it. And exactly the same in Napoli too. Do I hate Napoli and Salerno based on that? That's the actions of one snake, a serpent moving through the city. And I explained this today before I left, and I left much later than I planned, just to make sure that as many people sitting around who got to know me could understand that, in my opinion, Napoli is a really safe city. But, well, it's a different game, isn't it, if you're carrying some possessions and sleeping outside. These type of guys, or girls, well, in my experience, it's always been a guy, they're addicted to crack. They're searching around, and they have no hearts at all. And there's a special name in Napoli. Someone told me last night, I forget how to say it in Italian. There's a special name for these people. They are ultimately selfish, obviously. They're searching for their opportunity for their next fix. They would rob their own mothers. They just would. And against that kind of crime, from my experiences in 13 years on the road, you ultimately cannot stop that kind of person. They're desperate, ultimately desperate. In 1 second, pulls the backpack from under my head, pulls it from under my head, somehow takes the guitar, all my security ties, in 1 single second, sprints away. Nothing I could possibly do. I'm awake. It took 1 second. Sprints away. I shout, "Fuck you." Nothing I could do at all. Zero. I couldn't get up that fast in 1 second. Zero chance. Sprinted away. I just shouted, "Fuck you." Nothing I could do. Absolutely zero. Unless I sat there the whole night with my eyes awake. But to make the story even more insane, this happened next. I go for a little walk thinking, how can I sleep? Go and check the Wi-Fi, let my family know what's just happened and friends. Come back, sit down thinking, I can't possibly sleep. A guy, another homeless guy, okay, I'm homeless, but I'm not really, I'm in home. So he says, do you want some vino? I'm like, thank you so much. Obviously super stressed about what happened, but trying not to be stressed at the same time. I'm like, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much to be calm after what had just happened. And then 4 police come. And I tried to explain this in front of the police in multiple positions there. I've only been married 1 time, and my ex-wife, when we got married, well, she was police. She left during our marriage, and a wonderful lady that she was, if she's still okay and everything's I really hope she's happy, because my ex-wife was a wonderful lady. And just I had this kind of wanting to go in my own direction and all of this, and wanted to travel and all of this, but not to say that she wasn't a wonderful lady. She was, and absolutely, and hopefully still is. I'm sure she's happy and all of this. I really do hope so. My ex-wife was a wonderful lady. Sure. If you do ever see this, just so you know, I made some mistakes with all of the money shit and all of this, and I'm sorry. I really did. I didn't expect to lose so much money so fast with being ripped off by a mobile phone company and using the wrong person for the bodywork on the cars. And some mistakes were made and all of this, but it didn't mean I didn't love her. I really did. Just I had this kind of travel bug, which I had for a long time and all this. But back to the story. So, I'm speaking to the police, and 2 of them speak English inside the famous historical shopping centre. And I'm like, explaining the story, even in body language, saying, look, came along, grabbed my guitar, and gone in 1 second, run away. Oh, what? And they're like, okay. And I'm explaining it over and over again. 2 of the police definitely fully understood what I was saying. And then at the end of the conversation, after me reporting the crime, I couldn't believe what was said next. Well, one of the police said, well, maybe now it's time to go to sleep. So I just reported the crime, which I didn't even plan on doing, to 4 police officers who come to where the crime took place, inside the famous historical shopping centre. I report the crime to the police. They fully understand what I just said, and then say, well, maybe now it's time to go to sleep. I'm like, well, what could I say? I just said, well, I guess there's nothing you can do then. Is there no cameras? And that was it. And then they walk away. And it was exactly the same in Salerno. I talked about the crime taking place, and no one was interested, even while I spoke about it in front of police. Opposite. I even used Google Translate and spoke about it in Italian. So how could there be a crime taking place in the shopping centre with many, 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 many shops, McDonald's too, in a famous shopping centre? What? There's no cameras. I can report it to the police. They'll say, well, maybe now it's time to go to sleep. Who spoke English? I couldn't believe it. I still can't. I still can't believe it. I reported the crime and was told, well, maybe now it's time to go to sleep. Complete insanity. I just reported a robbery, and I'm told, maybe now it's time to go to sleep. I'm like, I just had to laugh. I'm like, I can't criticise the police. My ex-wife was police. I'm friends with the police in Agrigento. But a moment of complete insanity. The same happens in Leno. I'm reporting a crime, and I'm told, we're not interested. Inside a famous shopping centre. Crazy, crazy, crazy shit. So long story short, I'm happy to come back and see my friends. I don't know the nighttime staff in the same way that I know the daytime staff, but I know the daytime staff and the daytime cleanup crew and the market traders in the daytime. So I'm really, really looking forward to tomorrow. I've just come here to sit in my position from 2 years ago, 2 years and 4 months ago when I left, as a writer of 19 songs in the street with no guitar again. After being robbed by a snake in 1 second in a well-lit shopping centre with other people sleeping really, really close right next to me. I checked it all around, and right opposite me in the post, it really looks like that's a camera. I report the crime to the police, and they're, well, maybe it's time to go to sleep. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, God bless. I'll keep you posted. I'm going to stay in Rome for, I guess, for 20 days, and I'll keep you posted. God bless.